they were suggesting for us to place some kind of barricades. Probably, there are speed breakers which can actually puncture the tires of the vehicles which are moving in the wrong direction. Right? They wanted these kinds of deterrents. But I think a better way for solving these problems is not to crash that particular vehicle. Right? It is to avoid other vehicles into colliding into that one. So that is what we want to do. So the premise of why we started out this company was back in 2019. I had in 2018 I took an exit from my first company and wanted to work in either cybersecurity or in AI. And I thought if I wanted to approach cybersecurity, I would have to go through an academic route. And AI was something that I was quick. It was very quick to learn, and the resources were available freely. Like you could go on YouTube to identify what you wanted to learn. The things were catching on. So, and in during that time itself, one of my close friends actually had their car stolen from a very safe street in New Delhi itself. So there were cameras. Then we had good connections with police as well. Law enforcement got involved, but still the car was not found, and it ended up probably in Meerut, and it got dismantled and sold as pieces. So we thought maybe the cameras right now are not smart enough. They're very dumb sensors. They just collect data over digital networks, but they do not do any kind of inferencing. They cannot alert anybody regarding what's happening in the video. So we thought we should probably introduce some kind of real-time smartness into the system. So, though the cameras have some, motion detection and a very few rudimentary and basic analytics, but we wanted something which was actionable, which had some kind of actionable intelligence. Like if somebody is trying to tamper with the car, trying to get into a car not using a key, then that is something that we would want to identify. Though it is a hard problem to solve, but still, like you can identify it. So the main focus was to do real-time analytics over a camera feed and on scale. We started doing analytics in real time first. Tried improving the accuracy of the whole thing. Once that was done, then we introduced everything else, what kind of analytics we wanted to do and where we wanted to implement it. So we got into real-time projects on expressways and highways to identify vehicles. That is one part of it. Then we also got projects regarding security of real-time facial detection and recognition with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And basically, we do the security on Independence Day and Republic Day. We have been doing it for the past 2 or 3 years. Uh, uh, so these are few of the areas that we have touched. Then tunnel systems wherever there are roads in mountains and hilly regions, there usually are tunnels, and they require extra amount of security and safety in terms of where they are and if there is a natural disaster or there is any kind of social or militant activity happening in those areas. They require a certain level of higher level of security and safety measures. So we do real time analytics of how many vehicles, what kind of vehicles are traveling. Are there any kind of returning vehicles which are not supposed to be there? Specific number plates that can be blacklisted or whitelisted. These kinds of things is what we're doing there. So these are few of the things that we've touched till now. Now that with the advent of LLMs and VLMs, we are getting into that as well in providing, the top-notch level of real-time things that we can do for them. So if we look at any kind of technology for the like since the inception of time, since the inception of actually humans, because before that there was no technology, there was only nature. So every technology that comes into existence actually frees up human time in one way or the other, be it a wheel, be it a calculator or a computer. And similar is the case with AI as well. Now, whenever these kinds of disruptive technologies arrive, there is a there is a learning curve that comes with it. Now there will be people who will not be, inclined to join that learning curve and ride that wave, and there will be people who will get introduced into it and start building things. There will be others who will be enjoying that technology from the other side. Basically, there will be like somebody is inventing the fan and somebody is using the fan. So uh, so yeah, so my understanding in both the cases is that it will now that LLMs and agents have come into picture, a lot of time for the developers will be freed. This is going to be a time for probably the product managers and uh, really the people who have that kind of product thinking to shine. They just have to outline what they need to build, and that can be built by the AI itself. I think the people who actually shine and the people who actually build the things that make the other people shine are different. Like I think Instagram is something, Instagram is something that is making people shine, but in itself, Instagram is that technology which is being built by awesome engineers and awesome developers and researchers, right? So I think on the other side, on the Instagram side of the spectrum, it will be the product engineers and the product managers who will shine, who would not require any kind of coding, but will be able to build amazing solutions out of thin air just by using the AI. And there will be people who will be using it. Now, basically, that spectrum of the users stays the same. Like and I think it is going to create some kind of celebrity, but we'll have to, I think, wait and watch who that will be. Like, I don't know who will be the user and still become the champ of all of us. Who will be the user of this technology and be the champ? But power users will be. I think things only got easier. Like since I got graduate, I graduated in 2013 and started my company then and there with my co-founder. He was also my batchmate only. Um, Yeah, since then, like we used to build apps for extensions for Chrome actually, Chrome apps and extensions for Chrome. We built one where you could click a photo and post it directly onto your Facebook, and it was a physical kiosk which you could place anywhere in a cultural event or something like that, and people would come and just tap an RFID card. The photo will be clicked. It will be, it will have some kind of props, and that photo will directly be shared on their Facebook walls. So this was one of the implementations to get some kind of viral audiences for these real time events, like, these events, cultural events or concerts or things like that, where people actually gather and would want to do some fun activities. So these are few of the things that we built. And I know it was very, very, very hard because there was no proper documentation of things at that time. Facebook was not new, but still was figuring out how to, let people into that ecosystem, which meant that initially it was allowed to for any app to post on anybody's wall. Then they started blocking these kinds of permissions. They now obviously an app would not be allowed to post anything on my wall. They can post any content by their name. They can post it on their page. They won't be able to post it in my name from my profile. Right, these kinds of things we had done in 2013. We used to post through people's walls, but we had to take permissions, obviously. But it was allowed. Now it is not allowed. Now see where we have got. Like I don't even need to read the documentation of anything. I just need to talk to a GPT level, chatbot, and I need to ask some questions that this is what I need to build. It will give me a terminal command. It will give me how to build an app for it. It will give me a web app direction. It will tell me everything that I need to know. If I want to build it from scratch, it will give me results how to build on scratch. It can also tell me these are the tools that are already available in the market. You can directly use it. This is the level that we have got right now with technology. We just need to just ask the ask the bot, yeah, what you need done. I agree on the hardness part, but I also think that right now it still is a problem of accessibility and availability. Right now, as you said earlier as well, that right now you will be building a browser and somebody else in the other part of the world will be using it. The problem is still not the browser getting built. The problem still is that how will this browser actually reach that guy in the other part of the world? There has to be a platform who will facilitate this whole thing, right? So right now, what LLMs are able to do for us is they are able to index the whole internet. Now, if you have a very, very, very specific query, they will give you a very specific result. This is what my understanding is. And if not today, certainly in the next 1 year or 1.5 years or so, right? So this will be the problem that LLM will be solving: accessibility. Your tool that you have built will be accessible throughout the world, just if somebody is putting in the right query, and even if they actually mistype the query, the LLM will still figure it out. So and I don't think that you have to be very very specific and build a niche product. I think mass products will still exist. You would want them to be tweaked in one way, and that is also a way that I want to see where it goes. Basically, everybody would want their Instagram to look a bit different, or probably have the keys in different places for their power usability, right? Like I want the camera app to open when I just swipe right. Like most of the this I will compare with an Android user and an Apple user, iPhone user. So you will see a starking difference between an iPhone and an Android when it comes to usability. You will see that there are a lot of controls given in Android, but in Apple you will not see controls. I think whoever wants more control should have more controls. So, but because of closed source apps that are there right now in the market, it is very difficult for anybody to, tweak that source code and, have their own flavor. So that particular line will be blurred a bit. I don't know how it will happen, but it has to happen if there is a demand for it. Okay, so actually, I was also pondering on the same problem for quite some time. Like for the past few months, I've been brainstorming with my folks and trying to understand what exactly will happen. And I think right now the average level of how humans operate on a daily basis is still not impacted by LLMs or chat GPTs of the world. They right now still see if I'll say that I can give you an LLM, a chatbot, which will do each and everything that your company does. If that is possible, and I'm somebody who's offering you this, it still is very incomprehensible for you to assign particular tasks to this LLM, or ask this particular LLM to do certain things in the company. And that is because you have there are two things. One, you are skeptical of its performance, and secondly, you do not have those containerizations in your mind. What I need to do with this particular LLM, like will it be able to hold the whole context across the chats, or how will it happen, right? And since specifically if you are not a technical person, it will be more difficult for you to understand. If you are a technical person, maybe you will be able to identify that this LLM is going to do everything, and these are the few contexts that it can maintain. This is the thing where it might fail, right? These kinds of things. Now imagine if I said that I can give you a chatbot which is a virtual HR. It is much easier for you to understand, right? It is, what is it going to do? It is going to do all the things that my HR can do. This containerization already exists in your mind, because you have specific departments in your company. You already have defined roles in your company. So if I give you a virtual X in that format itself, it will be easy for you to grasp. And that is the problem that common folks across countries are going to face for quite some time, as long as the LLMs are new in the market. As soon as probably they have caught on to everything that is happening, I think there will be a one LLM thing. A one LLM solution can also happen. But right now we have those kinds of departments in our mind as well. That this is an HR, we need to give this particular person HR jobs only. This is a sales guy, so I have to give him sales jobs only, right? So if I go through that way, probably for the next 3 to 5 years, I think that is much more sustainable compared to giving a generic LLM to anybody and asking them to, uh, asking a client to, solve all their problems through a single LLM window. That will be a much difficult, a very difficult thing to imagine. I think eventually it will be a single chat window solution, because everybody wants a Jarvis. But for the 3 to 4 years, I don't think everybody is ready for a Jarvis. Everybody actually is very skeptical of Jarvis. I think I think sales will never be automated that way. I think sales is one of the, basically anything that requires a human touch, human interaction will never be replaced. And the more we go into the areas where we move towards LLMs, and we become a little bit more self-sustained and self-centric, I think we will crave for human touch and human interaction that much only. So so, so sales will become one of those points. I think sales will never be replaced. The second caregiving, health, and hospitality. These are also two of the sectors that we I don't see. I see that there will be penetration in those markets as well, but still they will be able to have humans as employees. Fourth, a close fourth will be artists, I would say, because uh, because people actually do not appreciate the art because how it looks. In fact, most of the people do not understand it at that level. I think they appreciate it because it is created by a human. Both of that's for increasing the efficiency of the whole system. So basically, that is freeing up time of humans. So we are like I've thought over it a lot. So basically, right now we are moving towards the era of abundance, which means that the most that we will have is time. It is a good it is a good thing to have a lot of time. Like we didn't have time for sure. Like we usually entrepreneurs usually do not get time as much as other folks do. Like so that is one of the things that I would love to see happening in the world. But apart from that, yeah, I don't want anybody to lose jobs and not have money. So probably one way of solving this whole thing would be to have some kind of basic sustenance for everybody, around the world. If we and we have enough land and we have enough things. If we want to, produce food for the whole population and probably, distribute it, we have logistics as well. We have everything that we need at our hands. It's just that the control right now is with a human who's probably not, like, who's a little bit greedy. Since my college days, I've been a builder. So I would rather be more excited about these next 5 years where I can build things which can do things than identify things that I will be doing after everything is automated. So, anyways, even if everything is automated, I think I would want to see things that require, there will always be gaps, there will always be customizations that need to be done. And I think I will be doing that for my own setting, at least for my own setting. One of the things is our incident detection system, which is now LLM entirely, not entirely, but partially LLM powered, which means that some of the incidents we can detect, right? Like if there is a car traveling in a reverse direction, we can do it through narrow AI models itself. But accidents actually can happen in a lot of variations and a lot of permutations and combinations. There are small accidents, there are large accidents, there are a lot of things that can go wrong on a road, right? So, and there are some pre-incident things as well that we can identify and check. Like if there is a person walking, that can be identified by a narrow AI model itself. But there can be n number of things that can be wrong with the road, because of which we need to throw an alert to anybody coming onto that patch of the road, probably 500 meters or a kilometer before, right? Like this is blocked and you need to slow down or probably do something about it, right? Or you need to take a diversion, these kinds of things. So that can be LLM powered, right? So right now we have built most of the things, and within the next 6 months we'll be able to deploy the whole thing, where anything, if anything is wrong with a particular scenario, uh, uh, by saying that I mean how it normally operates and how it should normally operate, but it is not able to operate in that manner, that needs to be alerted to some party who's responsible of taking care of it, or probably some party who's getting affected by it. I'll tell you one of the very specific cases on Delhi Meerut Expressway itself. So what happened was there was a school bus traveling. I think it was 6 a.m. in the morning. It was traveling in the wrong direction, in a reverse direction. And on an expressway where the speed limit is 100 kilometer per hour, people usually cross the speed limit and go 120, 130 as well. So there was this jeep that was coming from the right direction. Obviously, it was their road to travel on. So they were at around 100 or 120 or so, and this bus and this jeep collided, and I think only two people survived in the jeep, and everybody else could not make it. I think only two people survived in the jeep, and everybody else could not make it. So we proposed, based on this incident, we actually proposed it to ministry as well, that we want uh, on every 50 meters we want a variable messaging sign, and if we detect a particular vehicle traveling in a wrong direction, we want every VMS, variable messaging sign, to indicate that this is a red lane for everybody who's traveling in the right direction. At least they will be able to save themselves, they will be able to avoid that lane, right? Like everything is red on that particular lane. So every sign is red, so you would want to avoid that lane and move into the adjacent lane. So this is what we want to implement. And they were suggesting for us to place some kind of barricades, for probably there are speed breakers which can actually puncture the tires of the vehicles which are moving in the wrong direction, right? They wanted these kinds of deterrents. But I think a better way for solving these problems is not to crash that particular vehicle, right? It is to avoid other vehicles into colliding into that one. So that is what we want to do. We do not want clashes onto the road. And that is a easier save compared to destroying a tire. Hmm. Specifically on expressways, you can't do this on expressways. Like even if the vehicle comes to a stalled vehicle also is a risk on the expressway. 5 years down the line, I think if we are basically right now building LLMs agents and doing MCPs, I think 5 years down the line we won't be competing with the big giants, but yeah, we would have built some kind of automation that will be worthy of notes by the general public as well. I think anybody who's building right now, anybody who's building in this space, I think they will get some kind of recognition if they are doing it B2C for sure. If they are doing it for B2B, certainly recognition in that circle, but I'm not sure if they'll get it outside. I think it is the time right now. The rules are being written for LLMs and agents, like what will be the best environment for them to flourish. So if we also write some rules in this era, I think 5 years down the line, those rules will make us shine.